This is Jackie, and I am here with Weathers. We're outside of Baltimore Soundstage on an awesome afternoon. It's finally not fucking raining. So welcome. Talk to us a bit about your latest single, Problems, and what inspired your songwriting.
Problems is like a super, obviously, high-energy song, and it's kind of a satire on basically all the shitty things that just happen day to day and whatever, and it's just kind of highlighting all the little things that can go wrong, and yeah, that's basically it.
Does it reflect the vibe of Kids in the Night, and if so, how?
Yeah, it definitely does. It has a lot of imperfect sounds to it, I would say. I think the whole album kind of has like a glitchy, imperfect vibe to it, if that makes sense. And there's a lot of really cool guitar lines too, which obviously it fits in with that opening riff, which is really rad. And lyrically too, I mean, you know, having problems and like having everything not be okay, that sort of vibe is like kind of the whole vibe of the album basically. So yeah, it fits right in, I think.
How does it differ in sound from Happy Pills?
I think since the Happy Pills days, I mean, we definitely, I would say during the Happy Pills days, we took everything, I think, really seriously, and we wanted everything to be very, like, kind of dark and moody, if that makes sense. And while we still have some of that in our new sound, I think it differs just because we realized that we wanted to, like, let loose a little bit more and, like, have a little bit more fun and not be so, like, glum about everything, you know, and kind of still keep the same themes, but kind of have a little more fun with it, you know.
With new music out, what role does music streaming play when you're putting out new music?
I mean, streaming, you know, is a big deal to us, obviously. I mean, I feel like just with any band, it's
yeah,
kind of...
Not too many people buy records anymore, so streaming is kind of like the driving force of how your song's doing. It's like that in radio, pretty much, for us.
Yeah,
So-
totally changed how you put out songs too. Like nobody's really doing records anymore. It's been singles and EPs, and you know, just getting it there faster and more often, kind of thing, instead of more at once.
Is there even a place in 2019 and beyond for a complete album? Is there a need for one?
No, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get to a point where you've had like some success and whatnot, you can kind of just put out the body of work, you know, as a whole. Like Billie Eilish didn't need to put out an album, but she did, just to have like a complete set of work and kind of do a whole campaign behind it and have more of an experience.
I think for us, we wanted to put out an album as soon as we figured out kind of like our new sound, because we wanted to show people like a whole body of work, kind of as like here's a complete package of who we are now, you know, because we had changed a lot and been off the map for a little bit since Happy Pills. So when we came back, we really wanted to show people like a good representation of what we're all about now, and we felt like we could best do that with like a full album instead of just one song, if that makes sense.
And what role does terrestrial radio, traditional radio, play now?
Well, I think that there's definitely a spot for everyone at radio, for sure. I think it's definitely been a little frustrating. I think that radio's been struggling lately for everybody, because I think people are kind of afraid to play new music from new bands. I think it's really scary because not a lot of kids listen to radio anymore, so a lot of people that do listen to radio have been listening for decades, you know, and they're not as receptive to the new generation and young bands as the new generation and young bands are, if that makes sense.
I think stations need to, as you said, sort of get their ears on some newer music, not just what they think is like the top 40 hits.
Like, their idea of getting on the new music is the new song by a legacy act, like, which is like cool, like, but you know, that's not saying much. That
Here's the brand new Taylor Swift. Shocker.
Yeah, like even on bigger scales, like all these bands can release a song and it will go no matter what, you know.
So you guys are playing several summer festivals. It's finally like almost summer. How do you go about choosing and crafting your set list for a festival versus a regular show like this?
Well, obviously we have like a set time, so we'll have like, you know, 35 minutes or 40, whatever. But we kind of do it based on pacing, at least. I mean, like when we construct a set list, I like to feel like there's a flow to it, and we're not just like saving all our best songs for the end, or every, like, how do I say it? Like, it's not like you have to start off with something huge and end with something huge, or that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of want our set to like have like a flow to it. And with different audiences, like at a festival who like won't know us as much, we'll cater our set more towards people who won't know us. So we'll play more of our more relevant songs and songs that will let people know like kind of what we're all about, sort of thing. So.
Recently, you guys reminded fans on social media to check in with their friends. Why is mental health an important cause to talk about? It's Mental Health Awareness Month for the rest of May.
I think it's really important because, I mean, it can take lives, you know. And I think that all of us in the band have dealt with mental illness in some form very closely, and we take it really seriously, for sure. I know it's definitely touched me like in a very personal way, and it's really important to me that people know that mental health is like a real thing to watch out for and be careful of.
Young people often turn to music when they're having a rough day. What music do you listen to if you're having a crappy day? No, louder.
That's the music we listen to.
Car alarms.
Snaps you right out of that.
It kind of changes, honestly. It depends on the mood that I'm in. Like, if I'm sad, I'll listen to stuff off of like a softer playlist of mine on Spotify, or if I'm like feeling like I need to like get away, I'll listen to my drive playlist on Spotify. Like, but there's no like specific like song. It kind of just changes a lot. I don't know.
I think a deeper understanding by War on Drugs. Anytime I hear Pain off of that album, it just immediately puts me in a better mood and kind of gives me more perspective, like on life.
Mine, kind of like what he said, totally changes. It's like, depends on the mood. Sometimes if you're sad, you don't want to listen to a sad song because it's just going to put you in a worse place. So even something that will hype you up and see if it can try to pull you out, even slightly.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with that too. But when I want to like get lifted up a little bit, I listen more to like punk kind of stuff because it's way more like heavy and driving instead of slow, and like so I don't like phase out too much. It's a little bit more like helps me like stay in my mind to like get to that better place.
I need to do that better. I don't do that at all.
No,
if I'm feeling sad, I'll listen to sad music and get more sad. It's really bad.
Totally. Like if I'm sad, like my go-to will be like, I love like the band Brand New, but if I listen to some of their songs just about being lonely and you're already sad, it's just going to make you think about it even more sometimes. So you got to sometimes listen to something polar opposite, pull you out of it.
Some late 90s rap, some early 2000s pop does the trick when you're like really...
Britney Spears.
Yeah, come on, Britney.
You can't not smile if you listen to like Toxic or Hit Me Baby One More Time. Like,
Yeah, it's impossible. You have to like sing along and get your Britney
just
on.
slightly, you're like, all right, this is good.
So what's up next for you guys? What does the rest of 2019 look like for y'all?
We are on the road nonstop. Yeah, we're gonna be playing a lot. We've also got some new sounds coming out, which are really exciting, and also a new video right now, and then hopefully some more new videos down the line. So.
Yeah, we're doing a bunch of headlining shows. We're going on tour with 1OK Rock for a little bit, and doing a lot of festivals this summer.
Yeah.
So, and planning for the fall.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, stay tuned for much more from Weathers. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.